Shavua Tov, everyone. Welcome to Tillis Tells Stories for Saturday Night's group. The title of this week's video is The Match of Revealed and Concealed. I compiled the stories from Safed, primarily from Safed, the Mystical City by David Rossov, and from Shivchei Ali, and as well as small points from other written and oral sources. Rabbi Yosef Caro was the chief rabbi of Tzfat from 1546 until 1575. He was the author of several major works, including Shulchan Aruch, the Code of Jewish Law, a compendium of the laws of the Torah governing a Jew's entire life, personal, social, family, business, and religious, which remains until today the foremost authoritative work on Jewish law and practice, and is universally accepted by Jews the world over. In 1570, Rabbi Caro was over 80 years old when he arranged the engagement of his oldest surviving son, Shlomo, who was 15 years old at the time. His first wife and their 3 children had passed away in 1535 during a plague in Salonika, Greece. And Rabbi Caro's second wife bore him a son, Shlomo, in 1555, while he was completing the Shulchan Aruch. After his second wife passed away, Rabbi Yosef married the daughter of one of the sages of Jerusalem, who bore him a son whom he named Yehuda. Tzfat was full of respectable families, fathered by wise Torah sages and nurtured by righteous women, some with eligible daughters. Who would not be eager to marry his daughter to the son of the revered author of the Beis Yosef and the Shulchan Aruch? As Rabbi Caro considered the potential matches, he learned of a new family who had recently arrived from Egypt with a virtuous daughter of the appropriate age. The girl's father was a seemingly eccentric young Torah giant who sought to hide his greatness from the world. However, in the course of a few months in Tzfat, his name and deeds had spread rapidly from mouth to mouth. Rabbi Yitzchak Luria, who moved to Tzfat in 1569, was the most influential Kabbalist since Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai 1800 years ago. Most of contemporary Kabbalah and much of Hasidic thought is based on the Ari's teachings, as recorded by his main disciple, Rabbi Chaim Vital. In addition, his insights into the souls of the living and the dead captivated many, while his saintly personality made him a vessel of light, humble at all times, a true Torah sage. The Luria family was a paragon of righteousness, and Rabbi Caro felt confident that this was the right match for Shlomo, his son. Rabbi Yitzchak Luria's respect for the revered head of the rabbinical court of Safed and the author of Shulchan Aruch was no less than Rabbi Yosef's for the Ari. Connections were soon made between the two Torah giants, and the city of Tzfat buzzed with the news of this exceptional shirach. The engagement party was held at the Luria home. The great rabbis of Tzfat gathered to rejoice with the two revered leaders. Among the many speeches, the words of the Kala's father, the Ali, were the most elevated. Rabbi Caro returned home late that night and told his wife, who had been unable to attend, what had happened. "My dear wife," he told her excitedly, "what can I tell you? What can I say about what was revealed of the inner dimensions of Torah and the commandments? How shall I describe the profundity of the secrets of the Torah which I heard today from the bride's father? How much knowledge and understanding I gained from his talk. It is absolutely unimaginable that a human being has such depth of perception. Even an angel doesn't know what he knows." Rabbi Caro stopped to catch his breath, his face glowing with excitement. "Truly," he continued, his eyes shining, "his soul must be descended from one of the early prophets, for even the greatest of Talmudic sages could not attain that which he has. And yet, my wife, on that very account I am greatly afraid for him. Our generation has fallen too low to absorb the radiance of his holiness, and I fear that because of his sins we will lose all too soon this precious pearl. If only he could live out a full life and not die young." After that, Rabbi Yosef Caro sought to study Kabbalah with Rabbi Yitzchak Luria, even though the latter was more than 40 years his junior. In fact, he was less than 40 years old, which people understand you're not supposed to learn Kabbalah until you're 40. And here he was teaching Kabbalah, and not only that, the greatest authority on Jewish law wanted to be a student in Kabbalah. But things are different in Tzfat. Although Rabbi Luria was not altogether in favor of it, they did study together a few times. Rabbi Caro, a truly humble man, never let his seniority interfere with his goal of acquiring ever greater Torah wisdom. "Your soul," Rabbi Luria finally disclosed to him, "is not capable of comprehending this wisdom through my system. You will succeed best by studying the teachings of Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, the Ramak. who preceded Rabbi Yitzchak Luria as the leader of the Kabbalists of Tzfat. As a sign that what I say is true, continued the Arizal, as soon as I begin revealing mystical secrets, you shall begin to doze off. And so it happened. Every time Rabbi Luria divulged a Kabbalistic thought, Rabbi Caro's head nodded and his eyes closed. The marriage between the two illustrious families took place in 1570, with the whole city participating in the festivities. It was a memorable wedding. Not only was it the joyous beginning of the formation of a new home in Israel, but in a less tangible way, it was almost as if the two aspects of our one Torah, the hidden and the revealed, were united. Rabbi Yosef Caro, blessed with secrets of the Torah which an angel of the Mishnah had revealed to him, was the paragon of the revealed Torah. He succeeded in uniting the Jewish people through codifying the law in a way that had not been achieved since the time of the Rambam. Rabbi Yitzchak Luria, for his part, gave the esoteric, mystical side of Torah a new dimension and direction that had not known since the Mishnaic sage of the Zohar, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Together, the two different yet inseparable aspects of the Torah were revealed to the world by these two Torah personages and symbolized by the marriage of their children. Tzfat, in turn, reached a pinnacle of grandeur that would endure it forever to the heart of every Jew. Well, Rabbi Caro passed away 5 years later at age 87, while Rabbi Luria passed away 2 years later at the young age of 38. May the merit and prayers of these two great sages and tzaddikim protect each and all of us from any negative decrees. Amen. Chodesh Tov. And if it's really still necessary to fast this Tisha B'Av, then everybody should have a meaningful, smooth fast. And may it be the end of the suffering and the exile.